But there is one sports opinion that is just bad, and you can't have it. Even I, not an old grumpy gatekeeper, I will not accept it, which is, Justin Herbert's never won a playoff game. He is overrated. Not acceptable. So PFF ranked all 32 offensive supporting casts for the quarterback, the O-line, the running back, the tight end, the wide receiver. Now, at the top, I think we'd all agree, Rams and Colts and Bears and Bills and Lions and Seahawks. But look at the bottom 5. Awful teams, awful, except the Chargers, who are not only not awful, they're 11-4. Oh, I forgot. Justin Herbert's never won a playoff game. It took Matt Stafford 13 years to win a playoff game. I think he's pretty good. Took Peyton Manning 6. I also think he's pretty good. Justin Herbert this year has been sacked 49 times. He has been hit 121. There's nobody close to that. He has a broken hand. His leading rusher has 3 touchdowns. It's the 32nd ranked offensive line. And they're 11-4. Oh, yeah, but he did lead a playoff game, and his coach, a disaster, gagged away the second half. So as 20 and 25 is coming to a close, you can have any sports opinion you want. Don't listen to the critics and the gatekeepers. The fun of sports and politics is debating. There's nothing better to debate than sports and politics. Say what you want, have fun. But you can't say Justin Herbert's overrated after this year. If you want, Jim Harbaugh is pretty intense. Jim Harbaugh becomes a stand-up comic. I mean, the guy literally can't wipe the smile off his face every time he gets asked about what Justin Herbert's doing this year. 32nd ranked offensive line, backups to backups, 11-4. Broken hand. Leading rusher has 635 yards and 3 touchdowns. 11-4. He's gotten the you-know-what kicked out of him every Sunday. I mean, last week he didn't get sacked. I mean, it must have felt like a weird out-of-body experience. He didn't take a helmet to the throat last week. Can't have that sports opinion.
You are all well aware that I concur. I have been vocalizing this perspective relentlessly, week after week, to my audience of San Diego and Los Angeles Chargers supporters. I advocate for this position with intensity, and I intend to produce another video on the subject, likely to be published this Saturday. I may alternatively hold off until after the Texans matchup to delve into the most current statistics detailing what Justin Herbert has achieved and draw comparisons to other signal callers, both contemporary and historical, who have, to put it diplomatically, faltered under analogous conditions. This is precisely the rationale behind my opposition to the prevailing narrative surrounding Matthew Stafford. The common refrain is, well, of course he's the MVP frontrunner. He is positioned as the MVP precisely because his circumstances do not demand him to carry the mantle of a singular, irreplaceable force. Matthew Stafford is unequivocally an elite quarterback, a truly premier talent. However, his current season is fundamentally indistinguishable from what Brock Purdy accomplished with the San Francisco 49ers in 2022 and 2023, the very production that was wielded as an argument against Purdy's MVP candidacy. Stafford is enjoying that same caliber of season now. Now, juxtapose that reality with the plight of Justin Herbert. Consider what this individual is forced to contend with and where he has managed to position his team. The disparity is not marginal. It is astronomical. There exists no legitimate comparison. This is the drumbeat I continue to sound, the argument I reiterate incessantly. The core issue is that many attempt to restrict this discourse, distorting it into an accusation of being a Stafford hater. This is a profound mischaracterization. I intentionally utilize Stafford as a focal point of emphasis precisely because I hold a genuine, deeply rooted belief that he is a spectacular footballer. I derive immense enjoyment from watching him perform. It is lamentable that he is nearing the conclusion of his career, and it is a profound disappointment that he, or rather his prime, was effectively squandered for over 12 seasons in Detroit. We, as spectators, were deprived of witnessing his full greatness, and we should hold franchises accountable for such mismanagement. We must hold the Chargers organization, not the fan base, but the franchise itself, accountable for potentially marring the early stages of Justin Herbert's career, a scenario echoing in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow. Multiple truths can coexist. I can simultaneously maintain that Matthew Stafford is an elite quarterback and assert that Justin Herbert operates with significantly less structural support. Furthermore, it is an incontrovertible fact that what Herbert is accomplishing is substantially more impressive. This is undeniable. Consequently, my two primary MVP candidates at this juncture are Justin Herbert and Josh Allen. They constitute my top tier. Earlier in the season, I entertained arguments for Drake May and others, and I was very vocal regarding Josh Allen's case. Presently, it is essentially a toss-up between Herbert and Allen. While Josh Allen might benefit from marginally superior offensive support compared to Herbert, the defensive units supporting each quarterback are not remotely comparable. What Allen has been compelled to execute to secure victories in certain contests is extraordinary. Conversely, while Herbert receives greater defensive aid, his offensive line is under near constant duress. Neither quarterback is blessed with an arsenal of elite offensive weapons. Allen has James Cook, and that is essentially the extent of it. Although Allen's offensive line is statistically better, he still absorbs considerable punishment. Matthew Stafford, in contrast, operates behind even more substantial protection. This is where the conversation becomes nuanced, especially when holistically evaluating supporting casts, encompassing offense, defense, coaching, and overall organizational infrastructure. I am stating unequivocally now, if either Josh Allen or Justin Herbert were to reach and subsequently win the Super Bowl this season, it would represent, without a shadow of a doubt, the most significant single quarterback accomplishment I have ever witnessed. It would surpass anything Tom Brady achieved, eclipse anything Patrick Mahomes has done. Review every Super Bowl winning quarterback: Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Jalen Hurts, Russell Wilson. This hypothetical victory would stand as the most monumental carry job in NFL history. It would be immeasurably more impressive to me than any singular feat in Mahomes' storied career. 1,000%. This is undeniable. This is precisely why the level of success Justin Herbert is attaining right now warrants an extraordinary degree of acclaim. This has been my central thesis throughout the entire campaign. It is why I take issue when commentators like Nick Wright attempt to diminish Herbert's achievements or suggest his performance has declined since a key injury, implying another player is the team's most vital component. The retort is simple. How do you suppose Patrick Mahomes would fare without his offensive line? Where is Mahomes presently? The answer is evident. We will not obscure the facts behind injury narratives. We will not engage in revisionist history. Mahomes was performing below standard. His team was not victorious. We are not playing that game. We witnessed these two quarterbacks compete head-to-head later in the season when both were available. We can dismiss the Week 1 encounter as an imbalanced affair, where Herbert arguably had the superior overall team. However, their late-season clash featured both squads ravaged by injuries. Every player was nursing some ailment. One could cite a nagging knee injury for one, but Herbert was playing after hand surgery. Both offensive lines were decimated. Both quarterbacks were under relentless assault. I would contend Mahomes still possessed more proficient and experienced weapons at his disposal, along with a demonstrably superior offensive play caller. Yet Justin Herbert was the superior performer in that contest. He was simply better. Justin Herbert has demonstrated a capacity to achieve more with less than Patrick Mahomes has ever been required to do. That is a statement of fact. What Herbert is accomplishing this season is something we have never observed from Mahomes in 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, or even 2024. This current season presented Mahomes with his inaugural opportunity to prove he could thrive amidst adversity with a diminished supporting cast. He did not succeed. He faltered. This is not to assign blanket blame for every loss, but his critical errors, interceptions against Jacksonville, interceptions against Denver, were defining failures. Under normal analytical circumstances, with grounded human conversations about quarterback performance, I would not levy such heavy blame on Mahomes for this season's outcome. One might ask, what did you expect him to do given the injuries? However, a corrective overbalance is necessary. For years, the discourse has showered him with disproportionate praise, crediting him with carrying teams in 2022 and 2023, assertions that are not entirely accurate. If one insists on upholding that narrative of omnipotence, then a pointed question arises. What transpired this year? If Mahomes can single-handedly carry teams, why did he not do so now? Referencing a Super Bowl victory from 2019 is a diversion. It is irrelevant to the present discussion about performing with a deficient roster. The central question is, what can a quarterback achieve with less? What can he do behind a subpar offensive line? Justin Herbert has passed every single examination in this regard. And when provided with a remotely competent roster and adequate protection, his performance ascends to otherworldly levels. We have witnessed the statistical output, the seasonal trajectories, the sheer dominance. Therefore, the ongoing conversations surrounding Justin Herbert are frankly irrational. They truly are. Facing the Houston Texans with their formidable defense will be a brutal challenge. Winning playoff games will be a brutal undertaking. It will be arduous because we have already observed what Patrick Mahomes resembles when his offensive line is compromised. He was overwhelmed and produced the poorest performances of his career. That is the differential. Thus, merely qualifying for the playoffs is a legitimate accomplishment for Herbert's Chargers. Simply winning games is a genuine achievement and staggeringly impressive. Should he progress further, winning playoff games and potentially reaching an AFC championship game, the accomplishment would be monumental, though such benchmarks are somewhat arbitrary. The difficulty of a playoff path varies. One could confront the eventual Super Bowl champion in the wild card round. A loss under those circumstances carries a different weight than a loss to a team that is promptly eliminated the following week. Therefore, I hesitate to establish an arbitrary standard like, reaching the AFC championship proves X. Even that framework possesses inherent flaws. Ultimately, the discourse surrounding Justin Herbert has never resonated logically with me. There is a particular Chiefs fan with whom I frequently spar in the comments, a respectful individual, transparent in his allegiance. He once asserted, "No one dislikes Justin Herbert. No one doubts he's good." My response was one of bewilderment. I encounter such skepticism constantly, both in comment sections and from prominent media figures. His perspective, however, reflects that of a dedicated team fan rather than a blind player fanatic. The root of much Herbert skepticism originates from a segment of the Patrick Mahomes fan base. Their common retort is, "Let me know when Herbert wins a Super Bowl." My counter-challenge is this. Identify a single season in which Justin Herbert has been furnished with a roster and coaching staff as comprehensively elite as those Patrick Mahomes enjoyed during his Super Bowl victories. You cannot. You may attempt to fabricate one, but it does not exist. Patrick Mahomes has operated with that caliber of support for the majority of his career. The one season where an argument could be made otherwise, 2023 or 2024, still featured a defense that stifled Lamar Jackson, holding him to 10 points in an AFC championship game. I will issue a tangible pledge. If Justin Herbert ever loses a playoff game in which his defense restricts the opponent to a mere 10 points, I will shave my head and my eyebrows. I am completely serious. Should this scenario unfold this very postseason, if the Chargers' defense allows only 10 points and the team still loses, I will rid myself of all cranial and facial hair. Consider that booked and documented. I am eager to hear your perspectives on this matter. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. I read every single comment, whether you are in alignment with my viewpoint or stand in opposition. Let's engage in dialogue, even heated debate. But ultimately, let's enjoy the shared passion for the sport. Please consider subscribing to the channel. We are cultivating an exceptional community here, and I would be thrilled to have you participate. My objective is to forge a space where we feel a genuine connection and collective excitement. I believe we are making significant strides toward that goal. Also, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it genuinely enhances visibility within the platform's algorithm. Thank you sincerely for your time and engagement. I will see you next time.